Good morning, everyone. You got me in my pajamas. Um, Only for a minute, though. I just wanted to come on and I wanted to thank all of you for the love and the prayers and the support that you have sent myself and my family during this time. And I wanted to be able to look at you all and tell you that. Instead of you just looking at my hands. Um, No words, really. There's just no words. Um, some of you are going through your own losses. Some just this month, days apart from what happened here with my family, and some of you, it's been a year. Some it's just been, half of a year. And the thing about loss and grief is we endure it. We have to do all this shit. You go on to autopilot, you get all this stuff done. In the beginning, you're bombarded with love and phone calls and visits that can feel overwhelming because there's so much to do. And then the service is held and everybody goes back to their life. And you're having to figure yours out. And people that haven't endured a lot of loss or loss yet don't understand. They're like, oh, it's been a year. Our lives change. Everything changes. We have to start a new routine. There's a new normal. We get up in the morning, we remember that we've lost somebody, that it's real, it's not a dream. We figure out a new way of being. They want us to get over it, and we never do. We never do. We just learn to live with it. We try to create a new normal. And it comes and it goes, the longer the process goes on. Some days we do really good, and some days we don't. And that's grief. That's loss. With great love comes great pain. That's the price we pay for love. But I will always choose love. Because I would rather know great love than no love at all. So I just wanted to come on and thank you all for your love and support, and know that for all of you that are grieving as well, my heart is with you. I've been here way too many times. And I'm sure I'll be here again before my time is over, right? That's how it goes. So thank you all. You are so appreciated. You're such a blessing. I'm going to pause you, take you over to the table, and we'll do a reading. But I wanted to come on and say thank you. All right, I'll see you in a minute. All right, I'm back. I also got a cup of coffee while I was moving you around. What time is it right now? It's about 7 after 6. So it's starting to lighten up. We got a little bit of snow yesterday, just a little bit, but it's that season. I hope that you're all having a beautiful morning. I'll have to figure out the angle of the camera once we start laying some cards. All of you sent me your condolences and your love and your blessings yesterday. My family, my sister and my nephew, all of my family. I really, really appreciate that. None of you wrote any questions. So, like I said yesterday, I don't even remember what I was supposed to read on. My mind has just been everywhere, all over the place. So I think what we're going to do today, let me get a sip of my coffee. Obviously, yesterday's message was just about these times that we're in, and just letting us know that even though we're seeing the crazy, it's like it's a necessary part of healing. And as we all know in our lives, that when we're going through things and things seem the most crazy, it really is. We have to see that craziness. We have to see it to heal it. And so that's what we're in right now. We're in a time of seeing things so that we can work on healing it. I always say we wouldn't fix our brakes if we didn't know our brakes were bad, right? So we don't fix anything if we don't know it's broken. Often that's just how it is. So that's what yesterday's message was about. We're seeing all of this stuff because it's part of the overall healing process that we're going through. And it's okay to pull away and retreat and just work on ourselves. In fact, it's necessary to just work on ourselves during these types of times that we're going through. So good reminders of self-care, right? I can look in, I see that you guys can see Lukey Duke. There he is, very, very tired boy. He's been through a lot this week because our routine has not been, things have been disrupted, and he's known that I'm upset. And yeah, he's been through a lot this week, so he's pretty pooped. All right, so I guess we'll just do a universal message. I haven't paid attention to what's going on in the world. I could give a shit. Honestly, I just, I've just been focused on family and haven't paid attention, you guys. So, I know that here in my state, I will tell you this, I did manage, my brother-in-law and I were so eye to eye politically. We would banter about the ridiculousness. And, we really saw eye to eye. So we shared things back and forth, helped to keep each other informed if we heard anything. And, the two of us would just talk about the ridiculousness of our medical systems and the politics and just the bullshit that's been going on in our country and our state. And I got my ass out to vote. I know how John was going to vote. and he and I were eye to eye on that, and I did get my ass out to vote. And I was pretty disgusted finding the results in our state. So in our state, they passed a red flag law that I voted against, obviously. We already have precautions in place as far as people that aren't well having guns. And this red flag law is horrible. And It's basically gun grabbing. It's just another way for them to take the guns out of the hands of the citizens, which is what they want. Because if you want to control a population, you have to disarm them. And so that got passed. And then we also had all kinds of money that was being asked to go to the school systems, which I give a big no. I've been given a big no for years and years and years, because the money that goes to the school systems, they get all this money and then you often don't see that they've done what they said they would do with it. And then there's no accountability. So it's just another money laundering scam, right? So I always say no. And then we also had voter ID. And that was to make sure that people actually have to show an ID when they're voting. I don't know what's so offensive about that. It's offensive because you can't cheat so well if people are showing you their ID. So, and it was also to cut back the length of time that all of these mail-in votes get to come in. How long do you get to start it and then stop it? It was to kind of pull the reins in a little bit so that there's not this big loosey-goosey, oh, votes are still coming in a week or two from now. Anyway, they didn't pass that. So, I voted that we need voter ID and we need a tighter rein on this mail-in ballot bullshit. And I voted no on the red flag. And I'll tell you, our cops, the police, the state police, the game wardens, everybody, they got out and they were saying, this red flag law is a bad idea, people. And I guess no one listened. No one listened. So either things were cheated on again, or we just have a shitload of idiots in this state. And, I'm not sure which. There were people out celebrating that the red flag law was passed, and people were celebrating that voter ID wasn't. So I would say we've got a whole boatload of idiots in this state. And I'm not saying that to be an asshole or to be mean, but you can't hold much logic if you're for those things. If you're not for voter ID and you're for red flag laws, then you can't hold a lot of logic, which makes you an idiot. So it's not that I'm not being belligerent, I guess I can call them ignorant. There would be an ignorance there. I'm not trying to be mean about these people. I'm just stating facts. So we'll take a look at the midterm elections. I don't know what's happening in your state. I do know that Mondami, or whatever the hell his name is, got voted as mayor in New York. Seems to be some ridiculousness. And these could be, truly people want this shit. It could be that we have that much ignorance. So I'm going to pause you for a minute, and I'm going to go get a lozenge. My throat hurts. And we're going to take a look at that. We're going to see what the deal is, right? Okay, hold on. All right, I'm back, you guys. So my fear is that we really do have a country that is growing swiftly in socialistic values. And I know some people who are they're very much for socialism, not freedom. I don't think they realize that socialism is about an eighth of a step away from communism, and they don't work. And I guess they don't understand. I don't know why they think it's such a good idea. can anybody listening tell me why anyone would think that somebody who's risking their life, like let's take the line workers. Why should the line workers who go up in the air and the wind and the weather and the storms and work on our transformers and our lines, very dangerous work, why should they get paid the same as someone who's serving you coffee? Why should somebody who's spent 12 years in college and internships, who's really studied and sacrificed and done what it takes to get their degrees, get the same pay as somebody who hasn't done any of those things? It's called the American dream. If you have a dream, work for it. There's a feeling you obtain in that it's so fulfilling and rewarding. And you have a dream and you see it and you speak it into being and you move in that direction and you fall and then you get back up and you dust yourself off and you keep reaching for that goal and it feels wonderful. Why is it that somebody that's that dedicated would deserve to get paid the same as somebody who has a low work ethic and barely gets off the couch? And you know what I mean? Socialism's such a crock of shit. Why is it if somebody has worked hard and they own 2 houses, they should give you one? Because it's just, the ideologies behind that is ridiculous. Should we help out our fellow man? Absolutely. Have some people been in places of disadvantage? Yeah, sure. But when you start playing with freedoms, it's a dangerous, slippery slope. And I just don't understand, and that's just a few examples, I just don't understand how people can think this way. And there are a lot of people that are outright saying, yeah, we're communists. Yes, we believe in communism. And then we have, this whole Muslim attempted takeover, not just of my country, but the world. And that's some scary shit, you guys. So I don't know. These are it's crazy times. And I just don't understand how people can get on board with these things. Especially the fact that they're so uneducated. You have people screaming abortion rights and they don't even have a clue how abortions are done, what happens to the baby. They're ignorant, and yet they think their opinions. They think they're totally ignorant as to the facts around a procedure. They're hardened. Their hearts are hardened. They've been desensitized around a baby's life because they can't see it. They're totally desensitized to the fact that that's a life. They're ignorant to everything about it. They've done zero research and they think their loud voice matters more because it's their opinion. But it's an uneducated opinion. It's frustrating. It's just frustrating. So I don't know. I just don't know. We're in quite a time where people don't educate themselves, but they quickly jump on a bandwagon and they scream the loudest. With zero education, with zero comprehension or knowing what it is that they are actually backing. How about all of the LGBTQ plus community backing and being so loud and proud about this Muslim takeover. Do they not realize that they would be killed? Do they not understand? Like, this is what I'm talking about, the ignorance, right? So let's take a look with one card, please and thank you. We're connecting with my highest self and all of yours as well, because if you're tuning in, you're part of this. That's how energy works. That's how this stuff works. And connecting with my creator, the creator of all in creation, that loves all in creation. Whatever label you want to give that is fine. I often say my creator, source, God, always knowing that I don't have the correct name, because I don't think that we know jack shit down here on this planet. And I don't think we've been told the truth. Given the true power of all knowledge, we don't hold the knowledge. We've been tricked a lot. So whatever label you want to throw on that. And my spiritual team to help me in this communication between creator, my highest self, and all of them to get the message as clear as possible. All of that which has my highest and greatest good for intentions only and always, right? Only love is welcome here, and only truth is welcome here. And we just want the truest, clearest story that we can get to understand some of these times that we're in. I've babbled a long time. All right, so with one card, please and thank you. I'm just going to take my state, and then I'll do an overall. We just had midterm elections in my state. And with one card, could you just show me, were these elections fair? Were these elections that we just had in my state, is the outcome, what passed and what didn't, is that a true representation of what Mainers actually voted for? Please and thank you, with one card. Is that a true representation of what Mainers, people in my state, actually did vote for? Are we being told the truth about what people really did want? And were the outcomes truly a majority voting, honest voting for these things? Please and thank you. All right, I'm going to cut them. The moon. The moon. This is tricky, because that could be a yes, but it could say it's puppeted, influenced, controlled. So if that's an answer for a full answer, you guys, that would mean that the people were puppeted, that yes, the people of Maine are just puppets on strings, and they truly voted for that. Or it could mean the voting system was controlled and puppeted. So I just want to make sure, right? So with the moon, you just heard me say there could be two different outcomes there. So are you telling me that yes, the majority of votes wanted exactly what happened, that it's a true representation of what the people in Maine voted for? because they're being manipulated and puppeted. Is that what you're saying? One more. We'll cut them. Yeah. That's what they're saying. Yes. Isn't that awful? So in my state, we have a lot of ignorance. All right, so we've been so infiltrated. We have a lot of people. They've really changed up. We have a lot of people from other countries now, but we also have a lot of people from other states. Nothing against California. I think California is a beautiful state. I love my country. But Californians have been pretty woke for a long time. And we have a shitload of them that have moved here. They've been being steered in a particular direction. Everybody has, right? I feel like Maine is like California's mini-me. I really do. This is what's happening to my state. And we, the old Maine way was not the way of things today, believe me. And the old Maine way wasn't a bad way. It wasn't a bad way at all. People cared about each other, checked on each other. Neighbors interacted with neighbors. When we had, states of emergency like bad ice storms, we all got out to help each other, look after our elderly. And then I really saw a shift in things. We had a pretty bad ice storm. I lost my brother-in-law in it in 2013. And literally people were pushing people away from the pumps so that they could get gas for their generators. I mean, just horrible. And then we had another pretty good power outage in 2017, and people were acting even worse. It's disgusting to me to see what's happening to society. It really disgusts me. So it says, yes, that in my state at least, what we got for votes were from manipulated, puppeted people. And that's the truth. And so now I want to ask if we had illegals voting in our election, right? Did we have illegal citizens voting in our election? And is that part of the puppeting? That's what they want. They want those illegals flooded in, and then they don't want voter ID so that the illegals can go in and they can place votes. And that's how they take over countries, So I'm asking now, please and thank you. A lot of these puppeted votes, I want to know, were there people who are not legal citizens of the United States, who are not legal citizens of the state of Maine, what Janet Mills calls new Mainers. Were there a lot of those people voting in our election this November, please and thank you. And we'll cut them. Yeah, we're seeing it clearly. So a whole fresh with the page, a whole fresh new group of people voted in our election this November. We are seeing it and knowing it clearly. So there you have it. Maine's majority vote worked out the way it did because of the puppeted people that were able to vote in our elections. And so now let's take a look. And let's ask if this happened throughout our country. Was this something that happened throughout the whole country? Please and thank you. Before I pull that card, I just want to say, you guys, we had, I might have told you this yesterday, I can't remember. We had a big story that hit the headlines here. 250 ballots got delivered to a person via Amazon. 250 pristine ballots, mail-in ballots, get delivered to a person via Amazon in a box of, I think she had some like paper products in there, like paper plates and cups and whatnot. And it was reported. And it was handled by the very people that don't want voter ID, Shanna Bellows. It was handled, so everything about the way that was handled was incorrect as well, and nothing's been done. Nothing was done about it. So it's made a lot of us Mainers think how many other ballots were distributed throughout the state that weren't reported because they ended up on the right doorsteps, right? And now we've just seen that there's a lot of puppeted, manipulated, people that voted in our election. So the ballots went in, and that's what we got, but it was manipulated. And we had a lot of illegals voting. So I want to know, did a lot of this happen throughout our country during this past voting cycle? Were there a lot of illegals? Were there a lot of puppeted people? Was there a lot of manipulation as far as the majority votes go throughout the country? Please and thank you. Don't forget with the moon reveals things. So things will be revealed eventually, apparently. So what happened in Maine, is that something that happened in other states throughout our country as well during our election cycle? One more shuffle. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Very strong. That's a very strong yes. That's strength. That's major arcana. So throughout our country during midterms, during our November election cycle, there was a lot of manipulation. There were people who shouldn't have been voting. And it was done with quite a lot of strength. But don't forget, with strength, he's looking into the belly of the beast, even though the beast has him by the ankle. So I would say it is being looked at. I'm going to double check on that because I just told you a minute ago, don't forget with the moon that the moon reveals things. So, but we're still waiting for the big reveals on the 2020 election, you know what I mean? And I believe the 2022 elections were bogus. So we're waiting patiently. So can I ask this? You gave us the strength as a yes, and that's literally looking into the belly of the beast, even though it's got its tail around our ankle and trying to trip us up. We're able to see that there's some problems there. And with the moon that you answered us with the puppets, how it was manipulated by people, the moon always reveals things and brings an end to things. And so what I'm asking is, will there be some sort of reveal around the way our elections were manipulated, or illegals voting, or, will there be some form of reveal? That things weren't on the up and up. One more shuffle. The 5. There's already eyes on that, you guys. So great change is coming there. The eyes are on it. Let's get a couple cards to just continue. Okay. Can you guys see that a little bit? So we got the 5. So eyes are on it already. Great change coming. Eyes are on it. Eyes are literally on this system and the sneaking around the system. And it looks as though there's information already circulating, but people are trying to say that it's bogus. And with that 7 of Swords, that's like the technology as well. So information around the technology. But there's a fight to say that it's bogus. But if you seek out the knowledge, anybody using these particular technologies, their elections are at risk. And the eyes are on these technologies already. They're on the people that have been sneaking around, manipulating things by getting the illegals to vote. So the votes came in, but they're not legit, is basically what we're saying. And that there's some big change going on there. The eyes are on it. The eyes are on the equipment. And it looks like the eyes are out there doing this to bring an end to the cycle. So it's almost like they're saying they allowed this. And the King of Pentacles ends it all. So somebody, right, somebody in power, people in power already have their eyes on it. They have their eyes on the equipment. They have their eyes on who's making the money off of these elections, so that's interesting. And they do plan to bring an end to things. Okay, you've said this for a while though. Like but we're still waiting, Let me get a drink of my coffee, you guys. So let me reiterate. So you're telling me that people are manipulated. So some people really did vote that way because they're being manipulated, puppeted via the strings with the moon. You're telling me that people who aren't of a legal status to be here also participated in the elections. So the majority of votes came in the way they came in. But you're also telling me that the moon will reveal things. And you're telling me that even though we've been grabbed by these elections and it doesn't look good, that we are staring into the belly of the beast. There's an awareness around what's happened during this election cycle. You're telling me that there are people with that king in places of power that have their eyes on the system, the technology, and money that people are exchanging around these things. So, and you're telling me that the whole country underwent voting, or a lot of places within the country underwent a voting process that isn't completely on the up and up. But that legitimate votes got, not legitimate votes, but votes got put out to create a majority rule. So, are we going to be forced to live with this outcome, with our outcomes? Are we going to have to live under these types of conditions for a long period of time? And I know that you don't understand time. Just try to vibrate with us here for a minute. And I'll give you a for instance. We endured the fake pretendency, the fake presidency with the Biden administration for the full 4 years. Here in my state, we've been enduring the Mills administration all this time. And so are we going to be forced to live with the outcome and the results of this past election this November as well? Is this something that's going to hold and then be changed later on down the line with new candidates coming in and working to do whatever? I mean, we're gonna have to live with this shit or what? You know what I'm trying to say. So please and thank you. One more shuffle. It's going to be cut down with the 8. So with that, she's cutting down the journey a little early, right? So, because she thinks there's no life in it, right? And there's a message coming in above she should be listening to. So the interpretation for the answer of that question with our 8 of rods there would be that there will be information coming in that will cut down this journey that we're on right now, the way the votes passed and didn't pass here and in the states that have also been manipulated. We will get that to go away. But with that 8, remember that's almost a full journey. It's not quite to 10, right? But it's almost to 10. So we're going to have to live with this for a while. It's going to be a while before we are able to get rid of these stupid laws that they've passed and didn't pass, right? So with that being said, I want to ask, everybody had to know, people in power that have their eyes on this, had to know that if we're still using these machines that we've been using, and if our estates are flooded with illegals, and if mail-in ballots are showing up in people's Amazon boxes, that there was going to be some shadiness that would speak over the majority of people's states. So was this just allowed to go through and happen just to see all the different ways that they would cheat? All the different ways that they would make sure the ballots came out in their favor. I mean, did they allow it just to be able to catch it? To have the evidence that this is happening again? Does that build a stronger case? Like, does it have to be so manipulated before they can actually like do anything for real from their place of power, or before they will do anything from their place of power to help us states that have been infiltrated and overtaken? Did they let this go on purpose so that the proof would be there? 4. So the 4 is, that's about balance and simplicity. There's something very simplistic in this. Let me look at what else they've got to say. Can you guys see that? Let me move it up. So we get the 4 of rods, you guys. I'll show it to you again. It's very simplistic. These people come together in simplicity, right? Because they want to balance something out. And so they've come together in simplicity to balance something, right? To feed something, to feed a journey, rejoicing. They've come together, rejoice. Now we're rejoicing with the 3 to feed this journey. So then you have my good military white hat card. And that's that Knight of Swords. So what is he doing? He's coming in after this journey has been fed. So if you bring in a lot of illegals and you send out ballots, you're working together in a very simplistic way to feed a particular journey that you want to nurture. But then we have the Knight of Swords, which is our white hat military card, our good military. And what's he doing? He's got his back to these people doing this, to the people feeding this journey that, like, I personally am not the biggest fan of, right? So that he can move them out of the way with death and birth something new. This death card moves things out. The way things were done, the way something was grown, now it's got to move because something new is coming in. And that's coming in via our white hats. our good military, our people fighting on the side of your country or your state, or you know what I'm saying? So it looks to me like it's been a watched operation by the good military for some time, because their back is already to it. And part of their fight is to move this stuff out, to bring in something new. So it does look to me like they allowed people to do their stuff so that they would have more proof of why things don't work a particular way. Am I reading this right? So that then the military, white hats, good guys, can present how people worked together to feed this journey, and they can show it and move the way it was done out to bring in something new. So it's more like, what are my words? It's more like allowing these processes to happen. Every time they've allowed the process to happen the way that it has, it gives them more evidence to be able to move this old way of doing things out of the way and birth something new. So it's like they just let them, it's like it's being allowed because it sets up the evidence to then be able to discard this system completely. Is that what I'm getting? Is that what you're saying? Please and thank you. I feel like I'm swimming in quicksand, you guys. Slow motion today. Sorry. Let's cut them. So is that what I'm seeing? This one wants to fall. So I'm going to take it, because anytime something wants to fall, I take it. See, it's being held over their heads. It's being held over their heads, and they've already started harvesting something. Let's get the harvest here. People are shitting their pants, but this is apparently where we're supposed to be. So let me move this stuff aside. So they've allowed this, and now they're holding it over the heads. Like the harvest has begun. People are freaking out with this 9. The universe says this is the path. It's scary, but it's the path we're supposed to be on. And that our cup will overflow. Our cup will overflow. Because this harvest is happening. And people are very worried. And this is exactly where we're meant to be. So, and this is like being held over the heads of people. Those people would be, you guys can't see. These people would be super scared with that 9. With that 9 of swords there. Like really fretting. But this is the path we're meant to be on. So the universe, so what you're basically telling me is that we're going down these dark roads, very dark roads. And things are being allowed to happen. And it's part of our journey here for humanity to endure these dark roads and see the overpowering and literally see people on both sides feeling terrified. People kind of waking up through this manipulation that we're living through. That's part of the path. And also the people that are doing the manipulating knowing that they're being looked at, doing this manipulation in desperation are also kind of terrified. And that's also part of the path. That our path here for humanity right now is going through these very dark times. It's the road that we're meant to be on. It's the path that we're meant to be on. And our cup will overflow eventually, because people will get upset enough to make change. And the more we go down this dark path, the more it triggers people to get upset enough to make change. Is that what you're trying to tell me? Letting these people get away with this in full color while they've got their eyes on it. I hate saying this, but it's true. To wake everybody up, to get people seeing and feeling and paying attention. It's needing a majority of people to understand the manipulation that we've been going through and to get on board with creating positive change to stop the way, the dark path that we're traveling. Is that correct? One more shuffle. Walking on thin ice, skating on thin ice, you guys. That Page of Wands wants us walking on thin ice. So they're telling us, we have to walk on thin ice. We have to be in a place that feels very sketchy. And this is meant with that Page of Rods. Now, the good news about this is that he's very safe. It feels sketchy. It feels like he could break through at any moment, like that ice is going to give way beneath him. But there's been a lot of thought that's been put into this card, okay? So he could have taken the journey around the longer route, and he might not have had to have worried about, falling through the ice or anything. But it's a much longer route, and it will expend a lot more energy. So he's decided that he would make himself these stilts. It's still a little sketchy, but he's going to go across that pond. And that way, even though it seems kind of sketchy because these little tiny nubs might break the ice, he will still be above water. So even if the ice breaks and it feels real scary then, he's still going to be above water. And he'll have taken the easiest, quickest trek. So he'll have expended less energy. A lot of thought went into this. So what they're telling us is that this sketchy road that we're on, that dark path that we just saw a minute ago, that's actually on point and on path, and this sketchiness that feels like we are skating on thin ice, we're about to lose our states. We felt like we were about to lose our country, right? But we all know that we're sovereign unto ourselves via the United States, and we're worried about losing our states and our freedoms within the places that we live in. Come on, we can't all just move to Florida. And who would want to? I love my state. I want my state to be restored, right? And I'm sure all of you want your states and your countries to be restored. So it feels really sketchy, but there was a lot of thought put into this journey, the sketchiness of the journey, how it's going to feel, but it's still going to keep us safe. So no matter what, no matter how bad things feel, we're being kept safe. That's what that card represents. And then the next card is the King of Wands. For me, the King of Wands is a good leader. Often represents our president, right? Leading with the highest and greatest good for intentions only and always. So it's like the good leadership understands that we have to go through these very sketchy times that feel very scary, but there are safety mechanisms that are there. We might not see them, we might not feel them, but we are safe and we will always be above water. We will never go all the way down. They've made sure of that. Not just with the King of Wands, but with the Queen of Pentacles. Now, let me just tell you that in both of these cards, two different suits, right? One of the Wands and one of the Pentacles. Both of these people are very noble, and their intentions are to protect and guide and love. So the Knight of Wands is protecting little kids. The kids are drawn to him. He's teaching them how to be noble, honorable people themselves. And then the Queen of Pentacles, she has all these little kids that come running to her because she fulfills their needs and makes sure their needs are met. She's the Pentacles, right? So she's not just about, with the King of Wands, he's teaching you day-to-day values, how to be. He's very passionate. He's very courageous. So he's showing that. And then the Queen, she's very much of the earth. So she's like, you're hungry. I want to feed you. You look like you need a drink of water. Does your house have enough wood to stay warm? You know what I mean? She's centered on nurturing through providing, okay? And through obviously a love and a healing of all that's upon the earth. So what it's telling us is that this sketchy journey that we're on has been well thought out. It's meant to feel this way. But don't worry, the safety measures are in place to always keep us above water. And that's happening in different ways. That's happening with leaders that are fighting the fight to make sure that things stay honorable. And it's happening with other leaders that are making sure the needs are met, right? So the physical needs will be met. That may be, and that's with a love and a nurture. So that could be things like recounting of ballots, looking at things again. It could be with coming in with physical assets that are brave and courageous to make sure that we don't go below the water, to make sure that before we ever sunk truly, everything would be cut down in time to save us. So it's almost like we're going through this, I want to say like boot camp. It's teaching us all of us, quite literally, something. It's teaching us how to be noble, how to be brave, how to be courageous, how to stand and fight for what we believe is right during difficult times. It's teaching us how to nurture, how to love, how to provide for ourselves, look out for ourselves during really sketchy times, while also having people in places of power that are doing that for us as well. And that we don't have to worry, because these people will make sure that this sketchy journey gets cut down immediately if something goes too far. It's not going to go to the point of us sinking. It's only going to go to the point of us learning that this journey doesn't work and everybody making change. And with this 8, that would be an 80% maybe. So am I getting the story that you wanted to tell out in the way that you wanted to tell it? Please and thank you. No matter how bad it looks, there's safety measures. We're not going to sink, is what it's saying. But it's got to look bad. It's like boot camp training, or whatever, however you want to look at it. It's like we're all going through boot camp, right? So am I getting that message clearly? Please and thank you. No matter how bad it looks, we will not sink. There's safety measures in place. Is that correct? Please and thank you. That's correct with the moon. It's all being puppeted, and the reveals will come. We're all kind of going through boot camp right now. We were all hoping, that once Donald Trump got in, there'd be all of this evidence presented to stop this type of stuff from happening. But I would say the allowing of it to continue to happen is kind of part of the D-class, right? The more, that way people see that this isn't just the 2020 elections or 2022. This is going to show people up front, I think, what we've been living through, how sketchy it actually is. And then they'll probably take it all the way back. But the moon says, don't worry, all will be revealed. The moon says, yes, we're not going to sink. This is like full control. But we're going through like a boot camp period. It's all being puppeted from the outside, and they're just allowing this shit to happen because we're in training. As sucky as that is, sorry, but that's what I'm getting at least. I don't know, I hope you found some value in that, but that's what I'm getting. There are safety measures. We will never completely fall, is what it's saying. Before I get off, give me one card. I've been on here an hour and 8 minutes, so I'm going to get off here. But please give me one card from the universe to best represent the mayor-elect of New York City, Mamdani, or however you pronounce his name, the communist in New York City who's just been elected mayor. From the universe's perspective, give me one card, please and thank you, to represent what the hell this character is on the world stage. If he's legit, if he's just part of a show, what the deal is. Please and thank you. Give me one card to read on him, please and thank you. his true character. Let's see. Sometimes I wonder if he's like another part of boot camp, you know, more of the wake-up call, just part of a show. But let's look. Let's see what the universe wants to say, and then we'll get off, you guys. The mayor-elect of New York City, Mamdani, known communist. The star. You guys, he's a white hat. He's 17 controlled. He's a white hat. So that would be part of the show. That's what I'm getting, you guys. I know it's frustrating, you know, but just pull back and focus on yourselves. Continue your spiritual journey. Fill yourselves with light. Keep seeking truth and knowledge. Do what you can. Use your voices. Use the power of your pen and paper. Get out to rallies. You know, create a movement. Make your voice heard. And connect to your higher power. And see what you get. You know, see what you're truly feeling. Are you truly feeling afraid? Are you truly feeling that this is the end all? Are you truly feeling like we're not going to make it through this bullshit? I will tell you, here in Maine, the cops are already saying they're not going to enforce this red flag law. They're like, no, we're not going to enforce it. We're not going to go take people's weapons from them. We're not going to do that. So you see, just tap into that intuition. So this is what I'm getting, you guys. Take from it what you will. Toss the rest. That's what we do. Know that I love you all, and I appreciate so much the love, the support, the prayers, the hugs, the condolences, the healing vibrations, the connectedness that you all give to me and share to me. It's been we've had a lot of loss in my family. My family is just one of those families that have endured a lot of tragedy and a lot of suffering and a lot of pain, and from my whole life. And I don't know why some families go through more of that than others. I was very close to a family when I was growing up who also has just been through so much. And I don't know why some families endure more than others. I think it's our life paths. It's what we're here learning. You know, it's who we've agreed to love and lose. I may never have the answers. I stopped asking why a long time ago. I don't think I'd be satisfied with any answer, right? We just have to learn to move through it. And, you know, you'd think that my family would be old pros at this, and we're not, because we love deeply. And it doesn't matter how much practice you've had of losing. Every time you lose another loved one, it hurts. It hurts. It just is what it is. And I imagine I am talking to some families on this channel that have had a lot of pain and a lot of suffering and a lot of tragedy and a lot of heartache. And I don't know why it is that way for some of us. But when I look back at my life, and probably you guys too, and I think of all the people that I've loved, I wouldn't change that for a minute. Even in losing them, their lives helped make me a better person, and their death has helped make me a better person. And all of the other types of trauma and pain that I've personally endured and my family has personally endured, for me, each and everything has made me, I think, better, closer to my most authentic self. It stripped me raw to get to know who I really am. And I bet it has all of you too. And it sucks that we have to go through these things, but I would not change loving these people for 1 second to escape the pain that I feel when I've lost them. I don't know. So know that my heart's with all of you, and I love you all, and I appreciate you all. And thank you so much for caring. All right. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.